Huh.
Spectre.
Didn't we just get finished saying you don't want to pick a hero that's susceptible to
Yeah.
break?
It seems
Interesting.
strange. Like, I don't know. I can't really. I don't understand why they picked Spectre here. Like, obviously, yes, it's a great late game hero,
Ten
and that's probably maybe
seconds
what they're
remaining.
leaning towards. Like, because I mean, their late game is looking a bit lack. Obviously,
5
Prophet doesn't
seconds
do much.
remaining.
Tiny again falls off quite hard. Brewmaster's okay in the late game, so maybe they just wanted a very strong late game carry. Obviously, you can buy BKB on Spectre as well, which isn't out of the question to kind of nullify the break from Viper, but it seems a little bit out of the field, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not like, I don't know, I guess there's a little bit of food in like a witch doctor, so from the haunt perspective, but Leshrac with all his AoE, so his haunt illusions could die, fairly quicker. It's not like there's a blink carrier yet on burning bridges, so there's just like all these things why you would
Exactly,
like a
yeah.
Spectre.
Bad.
It's not really standing out.
And Lifesteal is still in the pool as well. Lifesteal is very good against Spectre. Like, obviously, because of the fact that Spectre will eventually build tanky, he has obviously the 500 HP talent as well. Lifesteal with the Feast is a big counter towards Spectre. So I think Thunder Predator showed their hand a bit too much, honestly, with that Spectre pick. Like, from what I'm seeing right now, like, I really like Burning
10
Bridges'
seconds
draft, and
remaining.
they've still got a hero left to pick. So Thunder Predator, they're probably going to need to
5
ban out
seconds
most
remaining.
likely, either a position 4 or position 3, depending on where this Leshrac is going. So I think they're just wondering whether Leshrac is going to be either the offlane or another support. I think Leshrac can work well regardless, I think, but I think perhaps they might want to pair him with something that can deal well with the Treant Prophet trees. Because yes, obviously Leshrac does have decent AoE, but you want to be maxing the Diabolic Edict just to have the pressure. So having another hero that can maybe has AoE to deal with the Treants, because I'm assuming this will be position 5 supporting the Spectre, could be useful for Burning Bridges.
Yeah. I know Burning Bridges has the first of the final pick, but I'm looking at Thunder Predator, a hero that actually looks really good here for them is a puck. Right now, they have no way to really catch a puck, and it's kind of that tempo setter for the team. I guess the magic damage isn't the greatest against Vibrant Lifestealer now that I think about it. But
yeah, no, I like the idea that they need some kind of mid-game tempo controller for sure. I just don't think Puck is the right hero because of the fact that I know they've got obviously Spectre for the late game, but Puck falls off so hard, and obviously they said they got the magic resistance from the Viper as well as the life. The only decent thing Puck is going for is that it has a very easy disables for the Witch Doctor Death Ward, and it's very unlikely to get caught by any stun, really. You can obviously phase shift the cask as well as the splitter from Leshrac, but I don't think Puck offers enough damage, honestly, to really threaten this Lifestealer or Viper. Yeah, Razor would have been nice, to be honest, because it doesn't have the magic damage per se, but still has a good mid-game control and works very well against Lifesteal as well as Viper. So, and this is where I don't understand. Like, they picked Spectre, but I don't know. Like, it just seems that obviously they hadn't shown Lifestealer, but picking a hero like Razor, they're not going to ban Spectre like Burning Bridges. So having that as your last pick seems a bit more worthwhile.
Yeah, no, the Spectre pick still continues to be
It's thrown me, man. It's thrown me, like, really thrown me hard, to be honest. But maybe they've got an idea of how they want to play it.
They're baiting it out. It's going to be a support Spectre. They're just throwing them off.
Revenge. Okay.
Vengeful Spirit.
So it probably is going to be a Leshrac position 3 then. Yeah. I mean, the Venge wave is, as I mentioned, the Venge. I thought they needed a support that can kind of deal a little bit well with the Treants, and the wave is quite good actually, because the Treants don't have much armor to start with, and then with obviously a wave like Leshrac and Venge can go, kind of just right click them down.
10 seconds remaining.
And again, it's another stun as well. Like, it's this Spectre's going to struggle in lane, honestly, against Leshrac and Venge. Like, easy setup stun to make sure you can land the split earth, and a nice combo between both of them. I have a nice mix of physical and magical damage. And Ember.
Okay. See that I like. See, well, what I was thinking too with on the punk line, the puck lines was even with the Vengeful, it's another kind of travel time stun. So same as a cast, same as a splitter. So yeah, getting a hero actually Ember Spirit's fantastic when you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they definitely did need, like a mid-game tempo controller, and Ember definitely fulfills that objective. But I think he's going to really struggle against Viper 1v1. Like Ember is kind of notoriously kind of weak against ranged heroes, particularly 1v1, because of his low armor. And that's why normally you see Ember in the safe lane, but can still kind of fulfill that kind of mid-game tempo role. And against Viper especially, who normally completely dominates melee matchups, I think this Ember is going to have a hard game in the mid lane, particularly if Annihilate is on form today.
So it's a laning stage that may not go the greatest, but again, as far as developing into the later on the game,
yeah, the strategy
should be decent.
For sure, the strategy makes sense, and I really do like it. Like, they needed a mid-game tempo controller, and as you said, he can dodge a lot of the stuns, can have a lot of kind of elusivity to him. But I think he will struggle in lane against Viper, and I think if Ember doesn't have a good start in lane, I think he can definitely struggle, because you want to be kind of setting the tempo and setting up kills and not farming, because obviously you're going to have Spectre farming completely, you're going to have Brewmaster wanting to get his blink. So if Ember isn't sort of finding these kills, I think Burning Bridges are definitely going to have a large advantage going into the mid game because of it.
So Boris is on the Leshrac, Lil's on the Vengeful, so technically it's an offlane Vengeful here.
Okay.
More the core role, so farm priority on him. I don't know how I feel about that. They're
both good. I mean, like, what I've been seeing is, like, OG obviously have been running a lot of Vengeful Spirit mid from Thompson. Like, the Venge is a very strong hero, like, particularly after the buff where he's got two kind of charges of his ultimate. It can cause a lot of kind of initiation and be really strong, to be honest. Like, I think it didn't necessarily matter which one, Leshrac or Venge, were core. It's just assuming that they both lane together, because they're both great lane partners.
Sure, but for me, my logic is, which of those two heroes is going to scale for you better, be more viable? Which would you want more farm on for set items? And like, more aura build on Vengeful, I guess, could be good, but I'm thinking like that Rod of Atos, for example. I'm sure we're going to see one on Viper, but on Leshrac, it's going to be great against both Spectre and especially Ember Spirit. In this game,
for sure. No, obviously, Rod of Atos is going to be very useful, but I think you kind of answered your own question. Like, Viper is going to be going for that Rod of Atos, so I don't think they kind of necessarily need to have two, and I don't need to rush it either. Yeah. So having a hero like Venge to kind of buy all the aura items, and actually then, but no!
He could not dodge it. The travel time, that's where the travel time screwed him more than helped him. If it was more instant, then he actually probably would have avoided it. Not the case. Nice gank, though. That was a good smoke gank right there. They anticipated him to be there, and they found him.
Yeah, for sure. I just kind of like this idea of having core Venge, because like, he can build the Vlads, he can kind of build these aura items, and that's what will allow them to kind of dictate the pace of the game. Like, getting Roche, getting towers. Like, Viper wants to build his Rod as well into his Greaves, and Venge is kind of the perfect hero to build these aura items. Like, you're not going to see, Vlads on a Leshrac, so having it on core Venge kind of makes the most amount of sense. And seeing as they don't need to double up on the Rod of Atos because Viper's going to get it, I think Venge makes the most amount of sense, to be honest, to me.
Oh, nice job by Spectre right there. He actually steals the banner and sees they're playing aggressive, so it's a 3-for-1 favoring them now. Is he in trouble? With the dagger, he should be good.
Ooh.
Cask hits, there's the stun follow-up, the split earth on top of that, so now Spectre is in trouble. The Spectral dagger is wearing off. He has to juke through the trees, and all that product can do is right-click Boris, which is not going to accomplish much, so they are successful. Yeah, the stuns are insane at this top lane. They all have 3 very powerful ones, of course. And it's going to bounce back. Oh, that RNG helping even. Product, can he make it through the trees? He eats his way through the split of connect, so even with the Fairy Fire, it's not going to matter. This is a brutal tri-lane to go up against.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that this is what we're seeing a lot. Particularly, we see so much Prophet support, particularly like from OG, like Noto have been playing over and over again. And what we've seen in the minor, actually, they've been tri-laning against this Nature's Prophet. Like, Nature's Prophet, actually, he's going to kill Juve.
He was trying to suicide right there,
yeah.
Smart.
But what was I going to say? Yeah, like, what we've been seeing is like this Prophet absolutely dominating these 2v2 matchups because he has the treants. But you actually pair a tri-lane against him, and he's completely worthless. You realise actually what Burning Bridges are doing is very, very smart, because they're gonna destroy this lane, because Prophet doesn't do well against tri-lanes. But not only that, but they're gonna reduce this Spectre's farm considerably. Like, and if Spectre does not get farmed, like, what a really Thunder Predator have to offer this game? Yeah. Not much, honestly. So I really like the decision to go tri-lane here. Very, very smart.
Yeah, even with farm, this is going to be a rough game for Spectre, specifically the Viper. So absolutely, they're really just trying to make him a melee creep this game, and so far it seems like it's going to turn out to be that way, unless Satoon able to find some good farm. Now, early start, he is 7-3, so he's managing to get some decent CS in. But you can tell they want to apply the pressure. The lane is pushed back in his favor somewhat, but until now it's starting to push out the other way. And they'll have to deal with that now.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm like, I mean, I hadn't had the chance to watch it, but this Ember is doing a lot better than what I expected, honestly. I thought he was going to really struggle against Viper in this lane 1v1, but he's playing very well. He's actually even on CS with a Viper, which to me is very surprising, actually.
Okay, well, Viper's really interesting. That I feel like and say we just as in general, as we have a pause here, casters, kind of expect to see like the Viper of the older days for the longest time of like, you know, it's a win your lane, lose your game kind of hero. But to be fair, with a little bit of the changes in the way that he's built now, specifically with leveling up that Nether Toxin, it's not necessarily as much win your lane. It's more about he'll get his farm, and then he just goes to the jungle, stacks it up, and then farms there too. So he'll just farm very efficiently, ideally. Won't necessarily lock down the opposition in a lot of cases, though. So I think that has a little bit to do with it.
I mean, but I'm just surprised that iAnnihilate like still kind of went with this Nether Toxin build though, because like Ember obviously is going to be maxing Flame Guard, so Ember can kind of push out the creep wave with Flame Guard on. I'm wondering if perhaps like going back to the old style build of, you know, maxing poison attack and really pressuring this Ember and harassing him out of the lane, because really, yes, this Nether Toxin will allow him to farm, but like he can win his lane, I'm pretty sure, by like maxing poison attack, and just kind of completely foregoing the Nether Toxin, because this kind of Nether Toxin skill is kind of nullified by the Flame Guard, like, because obviously you get so much magic damage absorption that I think if he maxes the poison attack, I think he can kind of box Ember out of lane, but it's kind of already too late now. Like, this Ember's got 14 CS. I mean, I could be wrong, but I really think that if Viper goes to old style build, like he could really dominate this lane and change this mid matchup. But at the same time, obviously, if he does that, then he doesn't have the ability to sort of fall back and farm with the Nether. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a trade-off. It's a trade-off in that respect. But.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say at the end. If he did, that's 100% what it is. He could win the lane, force him not to get the most farm, but this is more of a, he just wants to make sure he gets his farm more than locking down the Ember Spirit. The Toon, top lane, by the way, they dove him, but he is able to survive for now, eating some trees. Lil's up here, hunting for him still. He has a stick. He's going to throw out the Wave of Terror. They'll catch Prada instead. Split Earth, easy connection. There's the cast, there's the missile, and a couple of auto attacks later. He's, I don't know about popping a Fairy Fire. I mean, he was pretty much dead anyways. Almost seems like a waste there. But anyways, easy kill on Nature's Prophet. And again, you see what he's doing to Jubei. Okay, he's going to TP it again. Okay, yeah.
This is not worth it, honestly.
Is he going to kill him? No, he's not going to. We'll make it out, but that was Witch Doctor attempting, gets the TP from Nature's Prophet, and now NP's kind of.
He's gonna TP. He's TP into the high ground.
Oh, he sure is. Yeah, he's gonna cut him off. How about this? So it works out beautifully for Prada.
Really good. Really well played, actually. He's gonna get a nice deep ward down as well, actually. So really smart play, actually. I'm wondering if this Prophet is gonna try and maybe cut the wave and try and get. It looks like he's gonna try and cut the wave actually with his treants and try and give Spectre some easy farm. This Prophet, man, is playing well. But Witch Doctor, Jubei realizes it though. He's going to try and sort out this treants.
Now, we haven't talked about the bottom lane yet. Obviously, with the tri lane top, that does mean Lifestealer's been soloing down here, 1 versus 2. He is 12-2 up against, well, actually, wow, 11-2 Brewmaster. So Lifestealer's managing to farm very well against this tiny Brew combo. Even a 1v2.
Yeah, I think it is a 1v2, but you have to realize that he's playing against 2 melees that really don't pressure him in terms of like have kill threat on him. Obviously he's maxing feast, and so whenever they start manning up, like he's going to get as much HP back as he loses from the harass. So Tiny realizes that he can't do anything bottom, so he's going to try and rotate mid. And with Ember level 5, actually, level advantage over this Viper, this could be a kill.
Jubei's here, though, as well. Witch Doctor, he's going to come in now, so it makes it a 2 versus 2. Nether Toxin's put down. Ember Spear has to be careful about it, gets tossed back into the tower, but now Tiny's the one in trouble, sitting in that Nether Toxin forever with Jubei's stun. Does secure the kill, however. Nature's Prophet TP's in. They will get the turn kill on Viper. And that's definitely worth it for Thunder Predator still. They got the core, of course, with Tiny's back up in now just a couple of seconds. So works out in the end. Jubei could not do enough to save the day, although at least he gets the turn kill for the team.
Yeah, this Ember is really gonna pay off actually. Like he's gonna be able to do he's done well in lane, and he's gonna be able to dictate this game, particularly because there's a tri lane top, and he's gonna try and catch his Celestial actually.
Dire's middle tower is under
There's the
attack.
stun. Avalanche hits. He's got a toss ready to go as well if need be. Boris pops everything he can, but could not even get off the splitter. So yeah, great rotation from Annihilate. Or excuse me, Leo style. Here playing the Ember Spirit. Annihilate, he's just sit him in as Viper. That's what you expect him to do. But Leo style, he's the one being active. We saw that yesterday as well.
I think actually they're going to try and rotate onto this Brew as well down bot. Can they land the stun?
Split Earth with the open wounds. It should be pretty easy.
Don't even need it. Don't even need a stun. Yeah, he's dead. Nice. Yeah, as they go in Venge top actually though as well, non-stop.
All over the place, Mini. Lil's going to go down here. Pops a Fairy Fire himself, but yeah, in that case, really not going to matter. Have to kill the illusion after the fact, but it's a 6-5 lead for Burning Bridges, but overall, it seems like Thunder Predators not too disappointed with how the landing phase is going right now, specifically with the Ember Spirit. But you see Viper, he is starting to scale up there. He is jungling a bit too.
Yeah, for sure, and obviously Ember's been rotating out a little bit. But I think what's important actually is that Burning Bridges have rotated this trial out from top. Yes, obviously they're pressuring the Spectre, but the thing about this Ember is that obviously he's going to have such a massive level advantage that if they kept the supports top, like the Venge, the Lesh, and the Witch Doctor would be absolute food for this Ember. So they need to get them their levels as well as they try and go on the Brew down bot.
Open wounds up. There's the cask. Easy splitter. Oh, not so easy. Frank, he just went south. Boris thought he was going north, so he ends up missing. The tree sprout comes up, and now Boris is trapped in. Draken's here, aka Leo style. The splitter is not going to hit once again. He misses. He's 0 for 2 in that fight. So they get the turn kill on Leshrac. Lifestealer's inside the catapult. They chuck it back in, and now Lifestealer running the other way. He kind of has to, but he's not going to be able to do much to get out of here. He does have a rage. He does have a TP. He pops the rage. Does not pop TP, though, and it would have been a waste anyways. Double kill for Leo style. Yeah, that did not go nearly as planned for Burning Bridges.
Yeah, and this is just the strength of Ember, man. Like, he's so mobile. Like, he TP's in, and those two supporters are instantly dead. Like, Leshrac obviously dies straight away, and Lifestealer like is trying, but they're so mobile on the side of Thunder Predator. Like, they even TP in Spectre as well. Like, and this just goes back to the supporters being under leveled because they try and do this trial lane. Like, Juve is going to try and get some pulls off and try and get some levels, which he desperately needs because this Ember is not going to be stopping. Like, he's going to find these support kills so easy.
Top lane, they go on a Spectre, but again, in this game specifically, it's the Viper that's the issue. But without Viper, he's feeling pretty good, even with the stun combos. He has level 2 dispersion now, so mitigating a fair amount of damage, 12% reflected, as you see right there. So he's feeling good about that. Leo style, he's going to go the drums build first. Wants that amp item as far as the tempo. So we're going to see earlier drums on Ember and the way he's playing. I could see why. I expect probably more of the traditional build with the Maelstrom even on Ember Spirit to follow this. Bots to come as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think a Blink Dagger would be quite value this game as well. He can dodge the Venge stun quite easily with a blink, and also it gives him even more mobility to catch the back lines, which I think is going to be his kind of job this game. Like, he won't be able to really pressure the Viper nor the Lifestealer, but the other three members of Burning Bridge, I think Ember can almost solo kill by himself. So I think even a Blink Dagger could perhaps, if he wants to get super flashy, will be useful. But the drums is definitely needed though. Like, I mean, I play quite a bit of Ember, and your stats growth is so minimal that you need the kind of drums to give you that extra bit of sort of tankability that Ember desperately needs. Yeah. So yeah, regular item to start with.
We're going to see Helm of the Dominator progress on Vengeful, so Lil's attempting to finish that. There's one of those R items that we're talking about. Great for a hero like him too. Spectre, we didn't really discuss too much as far as what we expected of a build of him. He is going to go the early Blade Mail though, it looks like, for his first real item in this game. What do you think about that?
I think it's useful, like, particularly because there's a lot of kind of AoE damage that cannot be stopped. Like, so for example, look with Leshrac with the Nether Toxin from Viper. There isn't perhaps too much like presence from physical, but obviously he's dealing with a wave of terror from Venge, so I think that the Blade Mail is good.
Oh, this is not going to work out. The Radiant had an idea, and well, Thunder Predator was ready for this. Lil, he's going to be run down by Spectre. Back over here, Boris, he's just collapsed, and he throws out the Split Earth, but it's just way too much damage. Ember Spirit flies in, product credit for the kill. But a nice transition into a top tier 1. Now, Viper just finished that Rod of Atos. They need Viper to start doing things, because this game is getting out of hand quickly for Thunder Predator, feels like.
He has actually TV'd out top though, but he's going to be spotted this daytime, so they do see him there. Let's have a rod.
There's that break with another toxin, but there's not nearly enough follow-up. No one else is here, in fact. He'll just scare them off at least, so that's the good news.
Yeah,
Doing things.
Like he's really tangled this Viper. Like until the Spectre gets like a lot of farm, I think Viper is going to be like nearly unkillable because obviously of the corrosive skin. And they have majority of magic damage. And Spectre.
Yeah, he's just dead in mid lane. Lil goes down. Meanwhile, Spectre, as you're talking about the break, the nether toxin. Boris with the edict ticks him down. Back to the mid lane though. We're not even done just yet. Witch Doctor, they just run after him. The Primal Split was activated by Frank, so a double kill for Leo Style in the mid lane. They did lose Spectre, of course, as we saw. Couldn't get his haunt off, unfortunately, either. But they're now going to push the tier 1 mid, as their tier 2 top may be pressured as well. So at least seeing Viper getting active.
For sure, and I think like the kind of stage of the game is as we mentioned before, is like I think what Thunder Predator are going to try and do is they're going to try and treat this Viper like a timber saw, in the sense that it's like unkillable until we get a lot of farm on the Spectre. And so they're going to just try and make kills around the map whenever Viper is not there. So they make a play mid because Viper is top, and now Viper is top, they're going to try and pressure elsewhere, because they simply can't kill this Viper. Like he's so tanky, like he's going to be building a mech now as well. And they don't have the physical damage yet. Like Spectre needs farm before they can really pressure this Viper. So I think what I'd like to see Burning Bridges do is really try and push the advantage they have with this Viper. And here comes the smoke. So here comes the kind of all-out pressure, which I was expecting.
Yeah, we can't forget too that Lifestealer's farming away at the bottom lane during all this. He's already got his Midas. He has the Radiance queued up. So that's coming up for Burning Bridges. They have that to look forward to. But you mentioned this smoke. You know, Viper leading the way. They're going to find Nature's Prophet. It's not the prime target, but it's a target nonetheless. They get the vision down the trees, though. It's causing an issue here. However, it is going to be enough follow-up. And one more Maledict tick should do it, maybe. Yeah, Annihilate gets credit for the kill, so easy one at that. Leo Style, Regenerate picked up by Jube, but Leo Style will take him out because of it. So at least kind of backfires somewhat.
For sure, but like this is kind of the style that Thunder Predator need to try and make and take, although Tiny is going to get caught.
Yeah, that was the swap with the Rod of Atos on top of that. No chance for him, but hey, you're mentioning Thunder Predator unable to defend this mid push though.
Yeah, I think Thunder Predator, all they're trying to do is kind of like dance around the fact that this Viper is unkillable and just try and delay as much as they can for Spectre. So you see Ember trying to get like a solo kill when Viper's not looking onto the support, but you know, Burning Bridges, they're trying to push the advantage, but here comes the TP from Prophet. But
that is Viper, though. Yeah, you were just talking about this. Where's the follow-up damage? They're trying, but is this going to work out? Viper being put up on an Ember Spear, and the other toxin again applied. Viper, the haunt on top of him. He is getting low, and he is going to fall. But at what cost now for Thunder Predator? Break up on Embers. He runs through the next toxin, but the Split Earth once again misses. He's out of range. He has the Urn taking him down, but I think he'll be fine. Sleight of Fist, not going to connect right there with the Searing Chains. Prada, he'll run the other direction and will fall. So a 1-for-1 right now. Definitely favoring Thunder Predator. However, the swap from Lil Ember Spear propping with the magic missile. He goes down the toss away, finishes him off. Meanwhile, Leshrak is going to be collapsed on top, but the Split Earth right before he got taken out right there sets up one. It's going to set up a second. Triple kill for Jube on the Witch Doctor. Who would have thought that would be coming out? But definitely numbers favoring Burning Bridges at the end of the fight.
Yeah, definitely, and Brew actually made a massive play. Actually, like he cycloned up the Venge, and that stopped the stun initially onto the Ember and the Spectre. But again, like they commit so much onto the Viper that when Viper is dead and gone, Burning Bridges can then mop up, as we saw just there. So and Viper now is closing in on his mech. It's going to be even more difficult for actually Thunder Predator to kind of get an advantage. They have Blade Man now on Spectre, but it's not going to be enough. And now I'm wondering perhaps a Radiant Thrust might have been actually better for the Spectre, because even with this Blade Mail, like they're not going to be able to fight successfully. So perhaps going greedy and trying to delay for a time when they can fight might have been better.
Yeah, a little hindsight thing to say, but no, with the way the game is shaping up right now, it's hard to argue against that. But he's kind of forced at this point. Already has the Blade Mail and is working into a Yasha Diffusal, so we'll start getting there as far as being some damage threat. But it's going to be some time. Lil, swap play. He hits a tune into the Sector Stomp. That's why we see that Helm of the Dominator. And Lifestealer just going to beat him down with a Rage Active. He pops the Blade Mail, but that's not scaring them at that point. Easy kill in the end. Lil credit for it, as he deserved with the opening. So the tempo's completely changed. Burning Bridges, they're just complete map control now, it also feels like.
Yeah, it's because they realise how strong this Viper is. Like, yes, he did die obviously that last team fight, but he set up so much because of it. He's like this big mess, and they simply don't kill him. They don't have the heroes. Prophet does no damage. Brew doesn't really do that much damage. More utility. Yes, Ember does damage, but it's all magic damage. And Viper like is so tanky because of that corrosive skin. Tiny. Yes, he's got a blink dagger, but can't really blink in onto the Viper. Can maybe kill the Witch Doctor by himself, and they're waiting for the Spectre to get farmed. So Burning Bridges are doing the right thing. They're trying to control lanes and really force their advantage. I think they're going to wait perhaps for the Vlads on Venge, and then they're going to try and go Roche. Because right now they cannot they can't lose team fights. They simply can't. Like.
Well, yeah, Leshrac, he also has a Rod of Atos coming himself as we expected, and I keep going back to this Lifestealer. I mean, he's got 2,800 gold now saved up, and his team is doing things around him and making big plays and winning these fights, so he'll have that Radiance eventually. You see the Mech also just delivered a Viper as well, so the Guardian Greaves coming, and a fight definitely brewing right here. Boris leading the way, TP coming in from the Ember Spirit. It looks like there's a toss from Matthew. Leshrac is going to fall, but Leo style, he TP'd right into a death trap. And right now it's a 1-for-1 exchange. I don't know if you want to fight this if you're the Dire, but they're still pushing forward. Frank is out there with a Primal Play. Lifted up Viper. It's worn off, though. They put down another Toxic Nature's Prophet. There's another lift, so they're taking out a Viper of this fight. The Shrine just to heal Nature's Prophet, though. It's going to help him for the time being. Annihilate, he's back in, ready to go. Primal Split has come back together. Prada, I mean, he's definitely dead. The Magic Missile, the Wave of Tear, the Centaur Stomp, and the auto attacks to follow. Get the kill. They jump on a Viper, but the Mech comes out immediately. And now Matthew's like, wait, what was I thinking? I wasn't really thinking, I guess. Double kill for Lil, and they go right back towards the top lane. Yeah, it's almost seems like Thunder Predator just they can't realize that they can't kill this Viper.
They can't, like, and Breaky, you have to realize that it was only 4 people, and they were fighting into the enemy shrine.
Yep.
Like, there was so many, they were so handicapped, Burning Bridges, and yet they still come out on top because, like I said, I've been going on and on and on about it, but it's so important that this Viper is unkillable at the moment. Like, it was kind of unkillable in the draft, which kind of makes you think this Viper was second pick. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like, they didn't pick anything. Like, they picked the Spectre, which was questioning, and then they picked the Ember, which, yes, you know, that's what they needed in that kind of style of hero. It fitted the kind of play style, but it didn't fit the heroes that they were playing against, and as a result, it's definitely showing. So for Thunder Predator right now, that they have the right idea. Spectre's farming in an aggressive position and just try and delay the game, but Burning Bridges, they're not letting up, and they find Tiny in the mid lane as well.
Why would they? They push right behind the Tier 2 tower, free kill. They're going to go for that Tier 2 tower now, and they're just going to keep going. Again, why would they stop? Lifestealer's here with a Sacred Relic, so he doesn't have the full Radiance, but his right clicks are doing some good damage. And what's going to stop them? Thunder Predator's team fight is honestly pretty bad. Primal Split's decent, but that's really it. They have Haunt, but even with that right now, it's not really the most intimidating at this point. So they're going to keep going.
Without Bruce Split, they can't do anything. Even with Bruce Split, I think they're going to struggle, but without it, they're going to just lose this Rax, I think. Ember's going to try and whittle him down, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, Sleight of Fist. They use the Sprout to delay. There's another Sleight. Oh, they catch the Bruce. He jumped in. Tiny with the follow-up. The Splitter's coming out of response cell. And with the mech kill by Annihilate, that's going to be a turn big-time favor in the rating. It seems like Lil. He is in a bad spot. He swapped in, but he's able to just walk away. Rod of Atos hits Nature's Prophet. Another Toxic put down with the Split Earth, and he too is going to go down. So Thunder Predator does try, even without Primal Split. They use the Haunt, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, just look at the team fight for Thunder Predator. Like, Prophet offers absolutely nothing. Tiny offers maybe a blink and a blink in and a toss, which does maybe like 600-700 damage. But with a mech up, then they get back to full HP, and then he's useless. Brew without Split is completely useless. Ember, yeah, does a little bit of magic damage, but again, this the team fight from Thunder Predator is just so weak, and it's clearly showing in the draft now that the weaknesses that they have.
Dire scans them doing Roshan, but you're not stopping it. Don't even think about it. For Thunder Predator.
Yeah.
And they're kind of heading over, but it's going to be way too fast. And yeah, there's the Greaves delivered on top of it all. Lifestealer gets the Radiance. He has the Aegis. This could just be a game-winning push now by Burning Bridges, honestly. Sure. They're going to go top of this.
They don't. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, this is so. This Viper, man. Like, I just can't understand. Like, you're seeing the strength of this Viper, and it's only being picked now, and it was second pick, and just wasn't touched at all, like in the draft. And I think I can almost guarantee next game either it will be picked a lot earlier or it'll be banned because of this hero. Yeah, because it's showing the strength, man. Like, unkillable this game.
Oh, here they go. They're all up here. They kill the Shrine. They're going to make their way to the Tier 3. Ember's doing what he can. He has a Maelstrom. Spamming that Sleight of Fist over and over. They do have everything that's really necessary. They have Primal Split. They have... No, they don't have Haunt. Haunt's actually going to split up for 35 seconds. They'll swap plan a Brewmaster, and they're not going to split off. They're just going to lock him down. He's out for a 35. No buyback. The Rock connects on a Tiny. Ember Spirit, again, still spamming that Slight, but they're just going to call it as they should. GG's called. Burning Bridges ties it up. Dominating performances on either side. We'll see what that means for game number 3.
Yeah, I think honestly it goes down to this Viper being unchecked. And that was, we were talking so much about Viper, but as you did mention a few times, this Lifestealer had the freest game as well. So even if Viper, when he started to start falling off, the Lifestealer would have been an absolute pain to deal with as well, and it would have really done some work onto the Spectre. So an overall good draft from Burning Bridges, but I definitely think that this Viper will be definitely more addressed in the next game.
It's one of those, I really wished that we could do like a post-game interview or just like to get the thought of why were they thinking Spectre? I just keep looking at that.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going against a Viper.
Into a Viper.
That's got to be one of the worst heroes to pick up into a Viper specifically, and we didn't even really see that interaction, to be fair, that game. It just never got to that point anyway, so it was just Viper in general.
I don't think you can open Nature's Prophet Brewmaster either, as an opening. Prophet in itself doesn't do too much, and when Brewmaster's ultimate is down, as we saw a few times that game, it's like you can't have two heroes offering nothing into a team fight. If do that, then you're just going to lose the game. I think either you have to have one or the other, because if there's a downtime where you can't team fight and there's another hero that just doesn't team fight in general, then there's going to be a timing window where the other team can seriously exploit it, as they did that game.
Well, it's game 2 again, going the way of Burning Bridges, and that means game 3 is upon us here for our winter finals. The winner going to the grand finals, the loser will have to play in the lower finals, and that's kind of a big deal for a couple of, not only in the lower bracket, but it's a best of 5 grand finals. So if you happen to win the lower finals, then you have to play a best of 5 after that. It could be a really long day, so I'm sure just making sure you go right to the grand finals with this match would feel pretty nice for either one of these teams. Either one can win it. We'll find out next which team does win it. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Minnie. The BTS Spring Cup action continues here for the America region. We got game number 3 coming up next.